Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. Wonderful to be here with you this morning. It's our Sunday morning live with me, Terry Duperrin, and our Clean Harvest Nutrients. And today's a fun day. I'm just going to go over a small project and maybe something that you guys want to do at your own home. And it's around, of course, sustainable living and around creating sacred spaces in your yard or on your porch, or and it can be anything from a container to a garden bed that you create or one that you already have. Today and our focus today is around plants that are very bee friendly. Our bees are continuously dying off from the industrial agriculture and the pesticides. So we want to do everything we can do in supporting the bees. Plus, whatever you do with the bees, you're going to attract butterflies, you're going to attract birds, natural wildlife. And I have found when you create a sacred space in your yard and you're focused on sustainability, that there's more joy and there's more meaning when you're in that space. I did it in my backyard at home. This is over here. We have a little lake property. I'm doing this dock project. Next part of it is pulling these posts out and rebuilding this. So the goal is this will be the future home. Right now it's just a dilapidated old cottage. We've already started some projects. I'll show you here. Should be able to see it. We got the owl box, and over here we have raspberry bushes that we planted this spring, and all but one are doing pretty dang good. But today we're talking about bee-friendly, sustainable living, creating sacred spaces that are bee-friendly for our bees, so that and I've read different things, but statistics say that 70 to 80% of the food that you eat is touched by a bee, pollinated by a bee. And I mean, they're critical to our well-being. So let's get started. So here, this is the way we're going to do this project. This is just a piece of cardboard. So basically, this is what they call a no-dig. So we're not going to disrupt the soil, and there's two reasons for that. This is very good soil. There's been nothing sprayed here for a long time. So this is technically organic soil, and there's a whole, just like in our gut, our biome, there's a whole, sorry about that, a phone call come in. There's a whole ecosystem in the soil that helps create vibrant, healthy plants and nutrient-dense foods, which is the other element that we talk about a lot. So we're just putting cardboard down as the barrier. So what will happen is the grass will die, but it will decompose and become organic material. And this is, our weed preventer. There's somebody flying over the lake right now. So this is part of our weed prevention. We keep the soil, or the carbon in the soil, which is critical to the health of the soil, and to that whole microbiome, basically, with all the living mechanisms and organisms that are in the soil. But what we're going to do a little bit different today, because we're going to create this bed. I'm going to actually put some topsoil below the cardboard. And the reason that we do that is because some of the topsoil there's different qualities of topsoil, and some of them have a lot of weeds in it. So I'm going to put topsoil below, and then we'll put the peat moss, humus, compost, and actually have some of my own some compost here. And then we'll put in a little bit of the Spanish River Carbonatite, and then I'll put in a little spray of our Clean Harvest nutrients as well, which gives the plants a good boost. Really supports strong photosynthesis. So, and you don't need much for tools. Utility knife. So I'm just going to start with this here. So you can see here. Next time, I have a whole system that I purchased, but I just didn't. It's taken a little bit more to get it set up than what I thought. So here, so we're just going to do this really simply for this part. So I'm putting this soil here, and this is basically a flower bed soil. And we'll just do one side of this. And then I'm going to smooth it out. I just want to say hi again to people. Thank you for being here. I see more people are coming on. So happy that you're here. We're talking about sustainable living and creating sacred spaces in the yard. And today the big focus is on plants that support our bees and birds and butterflies, which nature just naturally enhances our sacred space. And it's something that I really invite, if that's not a familiar term or experience, to start maybe looking into that, to creating these spaces that are very nurturing. Hey, good morning. Good morning, Rini. Nice to see you. And if I don't see your comments, because I see them sometimes and sometimes I don't, I'll respond after. So here, let me just show you. We put down some soil. It's about 3 inches right there. And I'm just going to do 1/2 of this. And this isn't exactly perfect the way it is now. But so I'm going to drill holes. And I'm only using the drill because I like to, because it's fun. So I'm going to drill holes approximately 30 inches apart. Now this is for this is for wild sunflower. So, oh, hold on a second. So this is for wild sunflower, and which is the bees absolutely love it, and it's very good for the birds too. And the birds will eat it, of course. My drill gave me a little bit of an issue here. So I'm putting in a hole about 3 inches here. Let me show you. And the reason that I'm doing the holes is so that I have a really nice spot for the where I plant the seeds. And then I'm gonna mark where I do this, and we're just gonna do this on this little piece here. To give you an example, so I'm gonna mark that I have that there. Then I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna put my homemade compost, which you can see here. And if you haven't composted yet or not into it, you can actually see. You can see eggs, shells, and even banana peels. I mean, what they say is that you need to get to about 3% minimum really high quality organic soil to plant. So I'm going to put this over here. And then I'm going to put some of the compost and the peat on here as well. You can see this here. And this is stuff I just got at Lowe's. You could go to your local you know, landscape or garden supply center, which is, as you know, they pop up a lot during the open up during the spring. So I'm going to put some of this in here. And actually, as I'm doing this, I'm learning future ideas on how to do this more efficiently. Next time, I'll have my phone set up on a stand, so it won't be quite like this. It'll be much easier. But it's a little bit rough, but you know, it's really simple. So I've mixed it. Oh, look at here. You can see the bugs. This is from the compost. See them? It's from the compost. That's what you want. So I'm just mixing this up. And then I'll plant my seeds right here. I'll plant them in about 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to put in a little bit of the Spanish River Carbonatite. Chances are we won't really be able to eat these because the birds really love the seeds. So we'd have to protect them you know, with a big fence and stuff. And I really don't want to do that. Initially, it's really important to protect. It's really important to protect the seeds because the squirrels and the rabbits and everything, they'll dig it up, and so will the deer even. We don't have a lot of deer here because it's you know, we have the lake here. In the wintertime we get more deer, but not really in the summertime because it's harder for them to get here. But I guess they have been seen here. I haven't seen one, and I've spent quite a bit of time here. So yeah, then I would just plant my seed here, and I'd just go in about 1/8 of an inch, and then I would just give a little spray of our Clean Harvest Nutrients, which is it's our zinc booster, really supports the photosynthesis. And I'll provide links too, I'll add those to the Facebook page. I'm creating a blog on this. So yeah, and then it takes about 3 weeks for them to germinate, and I'm gonna cover. I have this netting that I'm gonna use to cover this soil here, just to protect it from the squirrels and the birds. And then I'm gonna finish up the space here too. So it'll be a nice piece. And then the wild sunflowers will grow, you know, they can grow 6 to 9 feet, and they really bush out. They might have up to 50 flowers on the wild. So it's not like your big stalk, your giant sunflowers. And so it's like here too, because we have neighbors, you know, here, and nobody's living here right now, but it's nice to create a little bit of privacy. Over here there'll be construction going on, so those are the things to think about. And in planning, you can even get a graph paper, you know, and be your own engineer of your yard. But you know, what we're endeavoring to do is to create a really sacred space here, so that when you come here you can really calm and ease, and you know, that's good for the soul. And being out in nature, we just naturally feel better, are calmer, helps our mental health. Even if we're not present to the birds, as you know, and the noises, it's a great practice to just try to be more present to them. So yeah, creating sacred spaces goes a long way, and you may not feel it right away, but it's something that will grow on you over time. That's what I have found. And so you create spaces that you can just rest. And you could do this with a planter, you know, get a decent sized planter with a wild sunflower, because You know, I wouldn't do it in like a 6-inch planter. I'd go into like a maybe 12-inch or something, and then, you know, you can have it on your porch. You know, that helps create shade, and they need like 4 to 6 hours of sun. So, and there's other flowers too. And I'll put some in the blog that I'll do, which I'll put in the live video. It'll take a couple 3 days to do that, but I'll add some other plants you could do, other trees. You know, your apple trees, so you can think trees too are really good for the bees. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But you know, the big thing here is really focusing on sustainability. And you know, we're just, you know, even me, we're just like our individual selves and trying to bring awareness to make a collective difference. You know, the video is kind of sloppy and stuff, but these are the things that we can do to make a difference. And when you see the Walmarts of the world, and you see even just recently the Oil Association in the Middle East says we don't need to drill any more oil. We have enough supply, and are knowing, because the writing's on the wall, these, you know, they're looking for sustainability, and and I'm sure there is consciousness to it for humanity, but they're seeing that this is a real issue. And you know, the other cool thing about planting trees and foliage is it actually helps cool the planet too. So we're helping with the carbon footprint, we're helping cool the planet, which is, you know, based on science, is like when you see the wildfires, it all collectively and aggregately impacts our whole environment. So and I know some people don't necessarily believe that, and I guess you don't have to, but these are things that you can do, and it makes a difference for yourself, it makes a difference for the environment, a positive impact, and it creates more beauty in the world, which ultimately creates more beauty in your own heart, your own being, your own presence. And then guess what? We're nicer to people. We're more kind, we're more loving, we're more caring. You know, and the other thing too with this is an annual plant, meaning that it only grows once, and then when frost comes, it dies. But you can, and I'll do this in the fall. There's ways to harvest the seeds, and the seeds naturally, you know, grow again that fall into the soil. But it's I forgot my point. Yeah, oh, so the other thing is, yeah, what you can do then is you can share your seeds with other people. You know, it's this collective approach and attitude to make a difference for others, to impact the quality of their life. And you know, even when you look back in the Depression, the people that survived the best are people that grew their own food. You know, they knew how to live a sustainable life, even in extreme difficulty. So, and we're having a lot of difficulty with our environment right now, and with excessive rain. So when it rains, it's very excessive and damaging. So, and that's the other thing, where there's a root system, is where water absorbs in the soil, so it doesn't evaporate as much. So there's so many elements to it, but fundamentally, what we're talking about today here is, you know, creating spaces that make you smile when you come into your yard, or you open your door, or you open your patio door, or you go out on your deck. And you know, all these same practices you can do to grow vegetables, fruits, and feed yourself and your family really high quality food. There's a lot of science coming down the pike around the nutrient density in the food. There's some really cool things that are in development that are going to help us as consumers with knowing the nutrition levels in our food. And that's the other thing, like this will help grow nutrient dense plants, what we're doing here, which the birds are going to eat the most of it. I mean, that's just fundamentally the truth. But if you're okay with that because you love the birds, then that's a win-win. But then the birds eat nutrient dense food, you know, and then there's a whole evolution that we make an impact. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. I so appreciate that you guys being here. Um, it's a joy to be with you. I hope you have a blessed Sunday, a blessed week, and I'll be back next Sunday. Okay, take care. Be well.